move into the debate section, and the first question is going to go to Fran, and it's this one. What's the most important issue facing women at the moment?
I think that the most important issue for women in university is safety, and that's one of the main issues I raise in my campaign. There's so many different things you can do to help safety within the university, and zero tolerance is a massive thing to do with that. I think that all students in university should realise what zero tolerance actually means. It doesn't actually just mean like sexual harassment, it's discrimination of all different types. And I think that not all students actually know that, and I want to promote that.
So Fran thinks it's safety. What about you, Rosie?
Yeah, I totally agree with Fran on that really important point. And zero tolerance especially, it's not just about safety, but it's about how you feel and if you're comfortable in your university experience. Which is why I think zero tolerance needs to be expanded and even a lot more in society, and we need to extend it to everyone.
Right, so it's making sure that it's extended to everyone. Do you share those views as well, Karen?
Yeah, completely. I think when you come to uni, you want to feel comfortable in the area that you're living and working, and student safety is a huge part of that. That's why, if elected, I'll run a safe bus service which will patrol areas of Swansea at night where students are deemed vulnerable. So if you're walking home late from the library or from a night out with you, you can come and get you home safely. Yeah.
Megan, do you think anything else is more important, or do you agree with the others?
I would support the idea that safety is kind of one of the most important. But I would like to add that I do actually think women participating in sport is also quite a big issue. Personally for me, it was quite easy throughout my childhood playing netball because I've always played it. However, I am aware there are lots of women out there that don't have the confidence to join such a prominent women's society. They don't have the confidence to go to the gym when there may be males around. I'll promote self-defence classes, kind of beginner lessons, just to kind of get women feeling more confident in their abilities in sport, and therefore promote that in terms of confidence within their life as well.
Okay, so confidence is a key issue for you. Just moving on to the next question, going back straight to you, Megan. How will you ensure that, and you said about this in your speech as well, that all the liberation groups are equally represented?
I think in terms of liberation groups, it's quite, it's not very widely known kind of what groups they are. I know personally, I think we need to expand and kind of promote all of them. That's the LGBT society, the Welsh, the Black minority ethnic. And I really do think that by doing that, by extending the zero tolerance policy to include racial discrimination, will also kind of accommodate and help them progress within our university.
Okay, thank you. Karen, what would you like to add to that?
Yeah, as a part of the part-time exec this year, I've worked really closely with all the liberation officers because I'm currently representing all ethnic minority students at the moment. And what I'd want to do is have an equalities week on campus so that we can really highlight the diversity that we have here at Swansea, and I'd really support all the other part-time officers because I know what it's like to be in their position as well. So hopefully that way we could celebrate the diversity that we have here on campus.
Okay, Rosie.
Obviously this is a big part of my manifesto in that I think there should be an equalities officer as a full-time position and a supplementary part-time women's officer. And obviously the equalities officer in this case would work on all the campaigns, and you're obviously going to... People seem to think that getting rid of women's officers' full-time role is going to be detrimental to women's rights, but I don't think it will, because, obviously, if that's the most important liberation campaign, then the equality officer will be spending most time on it anyway. And yeah, that's about it.
I think what I'd want to do is launch a campaign for, obviously, equality, but also recruit reps from each one of these minority groups so that they can go out there, promote themselves, recruit people, and let them know that it's okay to come forward and join, and make sure that people know that representing equality is really important for the student union, so that everybody feels comfortable in themselves and comfortable in the diversity of Swansea University. Sorry.
Okay. So it's about support, representation, and making people feel comfortable in diversity at the university. For the final question, question which will go to Rosie first, is it still appropriate to have a women's officer?
I think it's absolutely appropriate to have a women's officer. I saw Becky's awkward turtle there. Yeah, of course it is, because women still face massive amounts of discrimination. And I don't want to play down the part of the women's officer at all. It's extremely important to me, and obviously on a personal level, I am a woman, so it is the biggest discrimination that I face and will continue to face in my life, but I want to fight against it. And I just think that you shouldn't put one liberation campaign ahead of all the others. And I know that a lot of students feel like that. So I want to represent those students. And if students don't want it to happen, if they want their full-time officer to be the women's officer, then obviously they'll vote against it. But I just want to make sure that all students get the chance to have their choice of representation.
Okay, thanks, Rosie. Fran, is it time for an equalities officer?
Yeah, I think it is time to promote a more equal role in the officer, because I've been going around and obviously speaking to a lot of people, and the men are like, well, where's my men's officer? And you think, well, that is actually true. You do need it needs to be representing everyone, but at the same time, women's officer is really important, because women do face a lot of like prejudice, and a lot of things happen to them where they feel like they can't come forward in that because of the stigma that is associated with it. So I do think it's still really important, but I think that equality is a massive thing that needs to be pushed further.
Okay, thanks, Fran. Megan, what do you think?
I think that there should still remain a women's officer. Again, like the other candidates, I do agree that equality needs to be pushed a lot more than it has done in previous years. However, I am of the opinion that women do face day-to-day struggles, and I'm not saying that men don't, but in a world where primarily leadership positions are filled by men, I think that it is important that through the university that there is a representation that is a woman, that if you're not feeling secure in your environment, if you're not enjoying and fulfilling your university life, that there is a woman there that you can come and talk to, who's approachable, friendly, that can give advice through their own personal experiences. And so, yeah, I would agree that a women's officer does need to be kept.
Okay. Karen, is it still appropriate?
Yeah, I do think it's still... Sorry, wrap around you there. I do think it's still appropriate that we have a women's officer. As someone who's part of another liberation campaign as well, obviously I'm an ethnic minority student, I think that being given a lot of support from my women's officer is what I find really, really important. And having lots of work, I'm doing lots of work with other liberation groups as well. It gives you that sense of equality. Also, on a more practical level, the women's officer is the only position that ensures that a woman's voice is heard on the full-time officer executive. And this is an executive that also goes to our university board of trustees. So it ensures that we do have the voice of women being heard to the university as well, because that is something that can often get left behind, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay, thank you. And just to sort of round up, if you can think of the thing that's most important that you want people to take away about this Hust today and about Quiz of Candidates, what would that be, Karen?
Well, I just want to say that I think I have a lot of experience and passion, and I've shown over my time at Swansea that I really care about the women's campaign and about all liberation campaigns. And what I want you to take from this is, hopefully, if you like what I have to say, you'll join Jally and vote Karen Jally for Women's Officer. So thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Megan, what's your most important point?
Essentially, I know that we've got another 3 excellent candidates. All I'd like to say is that never forget that you matter, and basically that equality matters. And I just think that if you like my manifestos, then you'll join Meg and vote for Meg number 1 for Women's Officer. Thank you.
Okay, Fran.
Basically, just that. I just think that you need to take into account that you need someone who's friendly, approachable, that's willing to listen to whatever you have to say at any time, because on a day-to-day basis, women's officer is there to listen to whatever you guys have to say and to help you with anything that you're troubled with, not even the massive things, but the small things. So talk to Fran and vote Fran for women's officer.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is just that every student feels like they're represented, like they're important, and that they are being looked after. And I just think for representation, just make sure you vote for whoever you want to be your officer. If you want it to be me, that's cool. Vote me. Rosie and Man. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rosie. So just to remind you all who's been up on stage for this quiz of candidates, you've had Fran Ferguson, Rosie Inman, Karen Jalley, and Megan O'Connell. And you can vote for this position online between 8 and 8 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. And the results will come out about 9:30 on Thursday evening. So good luck to all the candidates. Thanks very much.